Hi guys, cinematic recap here. Before we start, warning. Spoilers ahead. Today, I'm gonna explain an American drama movie, called Wonder Wheel. The movie is narrated by Mickey Rubin, a Coney Island lifeguard who aspires to be a playwright like Eugene O'Neill. His story begins with a young woman named Carolina who arrives at the boardwalk looking for her father, Humpty Rannell. However, she ends up finding Ginny Rannell, her father's second wife who works as a waitress at the clam shack. She begs Ginny to let her live with them, but Ginny leaves it up to Humpty and takes her to their home. Apparently, Humpty angrily kicked her out when she married her mobster boyfriend Frank and threw away her college education and chance for a better life. When her father arrives, Carolina tells him that she is on the run from Frank, who she believes wants to kill her because she gave evidence of mob activity to the FBI. Luckily, Humpty lets her stay on the condition that she saves money to return to college and improve her life, though he initially asks her to leave. Ginny also gets Carolina a waitressing job where she works. Meanwhile, Ginny and Humpty are raising Richie, who is the son of Ginny's first marriage. However, he is a troubled boy who habitually gets into trouble by setting fires for no reason. He also gets into trouble at his school all the time. Soon, it is revealed that Ginny did not finish school because she had to work for her life, but she finally had a success in life when she became an actress at one point. She was also happily married to Richie's father, but her infidelity caused her husband to divorce her. Fortunately, she accidentally met Humpty who helped her get back on her feet when she was at the lowest point in her life, but one day, Ginny is unhappy to live with Humpty because he is an angry and loud recovering alcoholic. As she is walking on the beach, Mickey suddenly stops her and invites her to a drink. The two go to a restaurant and get to know each other, discovering a lot in common between the two of them. They end up having a romantic moment at the beach. She then admits that she was married and that she has a son, but surprisingly, Mickey does not mind any of that. Instead, he is actually attracted to Ginny's maturity and experience, and views her as somebody in need of saving. Later, Ginny begins carrying on an affair with Mickey, and the two grow closer over time. On the other hand, Humpty runs the carousel and goes fishing with his friends to bring home dinner every day. He also finds joy and patience for life with Carolina around, and he pays for her to attend night school. One morning, when he works at his carousel, mobsters Angelo and Nick come around and ask him for Carolina, but he denies having seen her and says that they have not spoken for years. Suddenly, their conversation is interrupted by a frustrated Ginny because Richie got into trouble again at school. The two mobsters ask her for Carolina, but she also tells the same lie. As a result, the mobsters decide to leave. The next day, Ginny and Caroline are walking down the pier, where they meet with Mickey. At their first meeting, Mickey seems interested in Carolina because he does not even notice Ginny. A few days later, Carolina visits Mickey at the beach, where he starts to flirt with her. She then opens up to Ginny that she met Mickey a couple days ago and that he was flirting with her. Because of that, Ginny starts being mean to Carolina because she cannot let go of her jealously. The following morning, she angrily asks Mickey about Carolina, and he tells her that she should not worry about it, but that is not enough to make her jealousy go away. She then tells him about Carolina's story, how she is running away from her husband and wanted to be killed. However, he becomes even more interested in Carolina's story, even though Ginny tries to keep Mickey away from her. In other words, he thinks that he is in love with Carolina, but is conflicted about his feelings for Ginny at the same time. Some days later, while Carolina is running in the rain, Mickey happens to see her from his car and invites her for a ride. The two have a brief conversation, during which Carolina confesses her whole story to him before going to work. Unfortunately, she is scolded by Ginny because she is late for work. After apologizing for being late, she reveals that she has bought Ginny a present as it is Ginny's birthday. That night, everyone enjoys her birthday party, but not for Ginny. Thus, she walks into her room, where Carolina suddenly comes in and asks her how she is. Carolina then tells her that Mickey had given her a ride to work. Hearing that, Ginny lies and gives Mickey a bad name. Therefore, Carolina feels disappointed with him as she chooses to trust her stepmother. After the birthday party, Ginny receives a call from Richie's school, telling her that she has to come to the principal's office tomorrow, otherwise they will call the police. The following day, Ginny and Richie go to talk to the principal and learn that Richie has to go to the psychiatrist once a week. She then visits Humpty and asks for extra money for her son's therapy. However, he ends up not giving money to Ginny because he needs the money for Carolina's night school. Later, Mickey goes for a walk with Ginny, and he finally gives her a birthday present. However, Ginny cannot forget what Carolina said last night, so she asks him about the car ride. He does not answer her completely and attempts to dodge the questions by being affectionate with her. After that, Mickey narrates that he finally agrees and settles on Ginny after he met his friend who gave him a solid advice, but all of that changed when he sees Carolina for the third time. She invites him to a pizza date on Friday night, which is also Mickey's birthday. Back at her home, Ginny steals money from Humpty's safe to buy Mickey an expensive watch as a birthday present. On his birthday, Mickey actually wants to talk with Ginny about their relationship, but is interrupted by her. She then gives the expensive watch, which he refuses to accept, saying that it's too much expensive for him. By this time, Ginny has become suspicious of Mickey's feelings for Carolina. Enraged, she throws the watch into the beach and leaves him straight away. When she arrives at her home, Ginny sees Humpty yelling at her son. She quickly stops him and admits that she was the one who took his money for Richie's therapy. While the two are fighting, Carolina suddenly comes home and rushes off for a date. Knowing this, Ginny is very devastated because her lover has decided to spend his birthday with his stepdaughter. As she is about to enter the diner, Ginny sees mobsters Angelo and Nick coming back, asking the owner of the clam shack about Carolina's whereabouts. She then rushes in and finds out that her boss innocently told the mobsters that Carolina is on a date with Mickey at a Brooklyn pizza parlor. Knowing she is in danger, Ginny rushes to a payphone and calls the pizza parlor to warn Carolina. However, she starts to stammer when she realizes her opportunity to take Carolina away from Mickey, so she ends up hanging up the phone. On the other side, Mickey finally tells Carolina the truth about his feelings for her as well as his affair with her stepmother. After dinner, he offers to drive her home, but because she feels compassion for everyone involved, Carolina walks home alone to process the information and decide what to do next, not wanting to hurt Ginny or her father or Mickey. Meanwhile, Angelo and Nick's car follows her from behind as she leaves the pizza parlor alone. When Carolina does not come home, Humpty asks Mickey the next morning if he saw her after the date. Not getting any answers, he goes back home and assaults Ginny, asking her over and over again where Carolina is. After realizing that the mobsters have most likely got his daughter, a distraught Humpty goes for a drink as it is the only way to overcome his depression. Some time later, Mickey confronts Ginny, who has started drinking and getting made up in one of her glamorous stage costumes. He then reveals on his investigation that Ginny actually called the pizza parlor, but did not say a word. Unable to avoid his accusations against herself, Ginny quickly pulls a knife from the drawer and asks Mickey to kill her, but he eventually chooses to leave in rage. Not long after, a dejected Humpty comes back home, sinking back into alcoholism after the police find no trace of Carolina. He then tells Ginny that he needs her help again to function in life, but she still does not care about Carolina or his loss. He even tries to find a positive outlook and invites her to meet his friends' wives on a fishing trip, but she coldly refuses to keep their life in its rut. Subscribe to watch more videos like this, turn on notifications, and leave a like to help the channel out. Thank you for watching.